Hi there. Very good evening to all of you, all my viewers. As promised, I'm live. Be it a little late, I promised to be live around 4:30 p.m., but I'm able to do it only at 8:30 p.m. because of some personal engagements. Uh, First of all, thanks a lot for being a subscriber and viewer of my channel. And I want to explain to you that I'm only one of you. I'm only a normal investor who invests into the market and do research every day before investing into the stock market, and have been doing that for the last 7, 8 years. uh, what I want to tell you is that if you do it probably an hour, 2 hours of research every day, you will also be able to get a knack of where the stocks are moving and what they are doing. But thanks a lot for subscribing to me. Thanks a lot for giving me so much of love and being part of this community. Kindly subscribe to my channel and increase this base so that we together we can learn. I learn a lot from all you people. The way you put forward your queries, the way you people put forward the request for stocks and analyze stocks as well. Some of the stocks that I have analyzed has been credit to you that you all have provided some basis of analysis to me. So thanks for that. As far as I want to just give an update of my mother, she is stable and at home, and we did go to the hospital twice, to the Max Hospital. And because of the kind of condition that we are in with respect to everything that is going on, it felt wise enough to just keep a mother at home. She is seriously ill. It's not that she is moving about and all. She cannot talk, and she is unable to move out of her bed, but she is stable and doing okay at the moment. So I decided to come online, and this was the reason why I was not online 2 3 days back. And really, this interaction helps me a great deal in order to understand what I have understood over the week, because then your comments come in and I realize that some of the mistakes that I do, or some of the things that I might have analyzed incorrectly. Really, a lot of gratitude to all of you. Kindly subscribe to this channel. Kindly be a part of Patreon. I'll try to change Patreon on a better level so that you'll be able to access my portfolio, my watch list, and what I do. So there'll be a tier for that. So a lot of things would go on Patreon once I get time from everything, because as you would understand that family comes first in all the crisis, and then we do other things. So uh, coming back to the markets, and while I was about to come online just about 20 25 minutes ago, I did not get time to go through the press conference of today, but I did go through the news channels and the briefings. And so I'll discuss today about a lot of things, and I'll also answer your queries. So the things I'm going to discuss today is, first of all, about this coal India thing, that the coal India and the coal sector is going to be deregulated a bit. Some of the mines, I think 40 to 50 mines, is going to be are going to be auctioned, which I never thought would happen, but it is happening at the moment. So what could be the repercussions for the coal industry, for another industry that I would like to talk about? Because now I am fearing, and I was very bullish on IRCTC, uh, but now I am fearing that IRCTC could be headed in the same way. So people might think the same way. So it is a very good cash rich business, but it could not remain a monopoly. So if it gets you can say diversified, you can say some of its parts is going to be auctioned to the private players, etc. More private players come into the railway sector. So I'll talk about that first of all. Then I'll also talk about PVR. So a lot of queries have come in for PVR and Inox. So whatever I say about PVR, take it for Inox leisure as well. So I'll discuss about PVR. I'll discuss about uh, Aditya Birla Fashions, for which I made a video. So not about Aditya Birla Fashions per se, but I would discuss about uh, the mall or shopping malls that they are not opening, so all those showrooms that sell you can say clothing and fashion accessories, etc., what would happen to them? So a lot of companies indirectly is linked, which are listed, are linked to all these showrooms and shopping malls, etc. So I'll discuss about that. So these three things I'll discuss, and then I'll also answer your queries. Before all that, I would like to request you that kindly subscribe to the channel. Also, I would like to request you that if you want me to answer your queries in between or between my discussion, then kindly ask questions through a super chat, and I'll do it immediately. And once you help me with the super chat, it will help me grow the channel as well. And also, you can look at my Patreon website. I'll definitely have a link of it after the video. So look at the Patreon website and become a Patreon. The membership is between $2 to $10 a month, so it's not that extremely expensive. All right, so let's begin with the coal auction that we have had, or you could say the auction of the coal mines that the government is planning. Uh, Before talking of the auction of the coal mine, I would like to just to bring you back to when the reforms was discussed, that the package would be announced, and about 10-15 days back the government was all out in saying that there is a economic package coming around for all migrant workers, for all people, and all the, you can say, stakeholders who are in distress here in India because of lockdown and everything else. So everybody was expecting something out of it. At least they were expecting that some amount of money, maybe 5,000, 10,000, 8,000, 4,000, would go into all the bank accounts and all, so that these migrant workers, I'm not talking of the middle class, I'm not even talking of the lower middle class or anything of that sort, but I'm talking of the migrant workers who are in complete distress. I'm talking of all the people who are poverty stricken and who have been struggling all their lives, and this pandemic has really worsened their lives altogether, and you would agree with me. So all people were expecting that something would be done in order to put money into their pockets. But as far as the government has done the right thing, but these are, in my opinion, not quite, you could say, a stimulus or an injection for the people or for the economy, but this is a reform. This is a similar reform as that took place in 91 when Dr. Manmohan Singh did that. That was an economic reform. This is an economic reform, not at the same scale as the 1991 was, but still the government is trying. So this is all good for the long haul. I'm pretty sure that agricultural reforms and in the food sector with cold chains, etc., and now with coal mines getting deregulated, it is very good. I am skeptical about the defense deregulation that is taking place. Not quite deregulation, but you could say that some of the defense, you can say, projects could go to the private players. That could be, I don't know, I have to look at the details, but that could not, might face some opposition from other, you can say, stakeholders. But all the other reforms are pretty good on the long, in the long haul, and should do well for the country. But what I'm concerned about is the immediate future, and whatever is happening here in India, and the immediate future of the economy. So I'm not sure that this will help the economy as a whole. I'm not sure this will help the immediate future of those laborers who are moving, say, 1,000 to 1,200 kilometers from one place to another. But I'm sure that government is doing it on the background something of that sort as well. So let's come back to the point that what the finance minister has announced. So basically, she has announced about the coal sector to be some part of it, or some of the coal mines to be auctioned to private players, so that the better, you can say, operational activity would take place, and there'll be efficiency in you can say mining coal, etc. So there would be benefit on an overall basis with respect to the extraction of coal and so on and so forth. and there would be benefit to the exchequer of the government, because this is a really troublesome situation for the government. So government has to take out money from this way or that way. So this is one way that the government has thought about. uh, Now, I'm not concerned about what will happen with Coal India. Of course, the Coal India stock may rise, it may fall, uh, depending on how the markets take it. It may rise because if private players come in, efficiency would improve, and the stock should perform well, because I think profitability will improve. It may fall because if the government is doing an auction, then it may happen to other, you can say, government PSU companies. In that regard, it is not good for India to probably go for such kind of, you can say, liquidation, as that has been done by the government. Although some section of the market might not like it, but overall basis, I believe that Coal India would rise on Monday, because there has been always a overhang of the government being the major participant or the only participant, and that would hurt. But here what will happen is, once this opens up and all, in the long run, what I feel is, it's just like what happens with telecom in 91, 92, and by the time 2007 8 came, there were about 16, 18 companies. So on a longevity basis, there would not be a monopolistic business like Coal India. Now we come to the point of IRCTC. Now, if the same thing goes on for IRCTC, say 2, 3, 4 years down the line, or somewhere down the line, we could be having more players coming in the, you can say, rail transport business, and on the railway platform, and that would hurt the profitability of IRCTC. So I'm more concerned about that. Probably IRCTC is not that monopolistic now as it seemed, say, a week back. And with such kind of announcements, I believe that I would be more skeptical now buying into IRCTC for the long term, rather than getting gung ho about it as I was for 1,000, 1,200 rupee buy. So to do your own analysis, but it seems like that the government requires money, and they are doing their best to eke out money from other sources. At least they are not hurting the common man with income taxes or anything of that sort. So that is a good point. And this is a time of crisis, so I can understand where all this is coming. I hope the lower section of the society, lower income group people, get the benefit of everything that has been going on, and it gets transferred to them as quickly as possible. Uh, Now, the second point I wanted to talk to you about is about PVR and what has been happening. So this is lockdown 4 that is going to take place from Monday, and in even in that, there have been in probably 80% of India, that most of the you can say malls or picture halls, cinema halls would all be closed. So it doesn't mean that if things are normalizing, that picture halls would be open. So again, places like PVR might not be able, or companies like PVR might not be able to eke out a lot of profit. Now the stock is around, I've not looked at the stock in the last 1 week, but I believe that it is around 880, 850, 900, something like that. uh, in my opinion, the fall has already taken place. So there is not much of a fall that would take place. Probably the stock would go to 650, 700 at the worst, uh, and all that. People are talking of 100, 200, but I don't think that would come about, because there is a lot of pessimism already. And we all know that the malls as well as picture halls might not open for at least 6, 8 months at least. And that is a you can say an obvious thing that you would understand, that if schools and you can say colleges are not opening at the moment, and there's no chance of doing that, then there's no way that recreational activities would be allowed. uh, in that regard, I believe that if somebody is holding on to PVR, he can average, or if I was holding on to PVR, I would say that, and this is not a recommendation, but if I was holding on to PVR, I would average around uh, these levels and on lower levels, and just sit on it for the next 3, 5 years. So My suggestion for those who have put in a lot of queries for PVR and Inox is that on those stocks, if you have money, kindly average, but not do a lot of averaging. Let it fall more and average and put more money and sit on the stocks for the next 3 4 years. They will come back. So it's not going to be perennial. It's not going to be the thing that the stock will continue to go down. That's my firm belief. So that you can do. A second thing is, if you are not buying, if you have not bought into it, then do not buy into it. Probably look at pure consumption plays would be the best thing to do. And pure consumption plays again would be Asian Paints, Bata, Pidilite, Britannia, Nestle, Eicher Motors, Maruti, Motherson Sumi. There are many, so I can just go on, and I have talked about all these stocks even earlier as well. So you can look at these price on these stocks, the prices, what have been the results, what is the future. So they are all from different industries. So do your own due diligence research. But these are good stocks to buy for 2 3 years, and you'll most likely will not make losses. So that's my suggestion on PVR and Inox ledger. uh, a third thing that I wanted to discuss about is the whole consumer sector and whatever that has been happening. A lot of stocks have fallen in the last 1 week. Nestle, even with quite good results, had fallen. Bata has come down a bit from those highs. HUL is around 2000. So about HUL, I want to say that it is at a very good level. For if I had money, I would have got into HUL for a period of 1 year to 1.5 years. I believe Hindustan Unilever could easily give you a return of 20 to 25% from these levels in the next 1 year. And I am suggesting one more thing, that do not look for multi baggers at this point of time, because this market could go anywhere. And when we think that the market could go anywhere, it could go to 11,000, could go to 7,000. I still have a firm belief that market is headed lower. In that kind of circumstances, you need to stick with large caps or larger mid caps rather than look for small caps. Unless you are very sure about few of the small caps, do not get into them, because this could be very painful in the next 6 months. The skeletons will come out once the June results come out. So that will be in late July, early August. I believe by August, from August onwards, you'll see that there would be expectations, say, of a company like, and I'm just giving you an example, nothing against the company or anything of that sort. A company like Neil Kamal would post something like 30% drop in profit. This is just an example. And it comes out with 70% drop in profits, or with the loss accentuating by 70%, then you'll see the stock fall even further. So do not consider that the stock has already fallen a lot. Those which are related to direct economy, those have fallen a lot. They may fall a lot even going forward. Thanks a lot, Vinay, for your contribution. Please make a detailed video on solar. Now, this company is pretty good. Kindly send me the full name of it as well, and I'll definitely make a full-fledged video on it. But just to tell you one thing, in the renewable energy space and in the renewable sources space, uh, I'm not very gung ho about it. So even if you're holding about it, uh, holding on to the stock, kindly do that. Keep a stop loss and do not let the stock go a lot lower from your buy price. Maximum you can take is 30%. Even if you're down 50%, keep a stop loss and exit the stock. I can give you my example, that I bought a consumption stock. I was very gung ho about it. I bought a lot of that consumption stock, and I made a loss of around 55% in it. Yet I was able to recover all that amount through, you could say, other stocks over a period of last 1 year, by investing into other companies and all. So never think that you will lose out on anything. Never think that you will lose out on uh, these 50%, and you have to make that money from the same stock. So take that into consideration. Keep a stop loss and exit if the stock falls a lot. Thanks for your contribution. So as I was saying, that look at pure consumption plays which are in the larger sector, because this market can go down even further. And if you buy something like Asian Paints, HUL, etc., or get into it, you would be very safe in a difficult you can say market. And I believe the next 1 year would be difficult for the market till next you could say April, May. And probably at that point of time things would normalize on all fronts, and you would see a move. I would think that the move may begin from you could say October onwards. That's my assessment. Only things can go wrong as well. But keep an idea of at least February, March, and have your investments in that manner at this point of time. If you want to hold for say 5 6 years, if you're ready to take a pain of 40 50 60% on your portfolio, then you can go ahead and buy the likes of you can say buy the likes of the companies probably into the infrastructure, into the capital goods or economy related stocks, or something like a PVR. But I think PVR would struggle for the next 2 quarters at least. So at least till November, December, the stock may not fall, but the stock may not go up either. All right. So now I'll be answering your queries. So let's take up the queries for the next 15 20 minutes. Uh, Let's understand. So Pankaj has asked about FL India here. So FL India, positive about the stock. It is falling. Probably you can buy at around 1200 to 1000 levels. So if it comes around those levels, if the market falls to 8000, you'll get to those levels. Get into it. Do not think about a lot that it will fall more or less. Kindly get into the stock and probably buy on major declines. You could see 1800 2000 levels in the next couple of years, 1.5 years. Thanks a lot, Prashant, for your contribution. How's India IOL chemicals and alkyl amines? IOL is pretty good. I like the company, and I've analyzed that. I think I have made a video on it. I'll just check if I have. If I have not, I'll make. Alkyl amines, I'm not very sure. They are into producing one or two chemicals which are exclusive in nature, but the prices of those have gone up, and that's why they are selling those better and getting more revenue. But it would fall afterwards. So it's not like a consistent stock, but IOL chemicals with the kind of products that they are making, it should do well. And thank you for your contribution. Cient is good. I think Cient is good. Wait for declines, but again, Cient will give you a return of say 15, 14, 15% year on year of that sort, being an IT company. But companies which have fallen a lot and have good pedigree may give you good 25% return or so. A Quest Corp, I'm positive about it, but the stock has fallen so much that I cannot tell you anything. I mean, if you buy and it may not rise, there are things going on but on the economic front. So probably what you can do is, if you have not bought into it, then kindly do not buy it. BPCL is good. BPCL on any declines can be bought. All right. MGL is good. I like MGL at these levels. MGL may have a target of 1300, 1400. If I had money, I would buy MGL at these levels. IGL, I am a little bit inclined towards MGL just because of the stock charts. Nothing against the company or anything, but the charts of MGL looks really good. Whenever the turnaround happens, the stock may go up a lot. Maruti Suzuki is good. Keep on buying, and I believe from 2022 onwards, there will be a huge move in the auto industry. And talking about Maruti, I'll again tell you that, and I've told this many times, that I like three companies: Maruti, Eicher, and Motherson Sumi in the auto sector. There are other companies, but these three are my top picks in the auto sector altogether. Havels is an avoid. Polycab you can buy on decline, so Polycab is good. Okay, okay. 3M hasn't fallen much. Just a second. What's the buy price basis? Would I buy it? Current market price is 17,675. Uh, See, it's extremely difficult. If you have not bought into 3M India first of all, thanks for your contribution. If you have not bought in 3M India, wait for major declines to buy. So major declines means at least 10-12% from these levels to buy into. Otherwise, just leave it. It's one of those stocks that have just gone away and you were not able to buy it. Do not look at it into it again. It's risky. So what I do is, of course, it can go to 22, 23,000 and all that, but always remember that losing money or not losing money is the priority here. So kindly take that into consideration. So avoid at these levels. Thanks a lot, Bara Subramaniam, for your contribution. If you have any query, kindly shoot it. So 3M India is avoid, and I believe that what you can do is look at consumption plays which have fallen and have a good time horizon of 1 year, 1.5 years, and you'll do well. And do not chase stocks. Whoever is chasing stocks, and this is one point I always wanted to make, I always forget, that chasing markets and chasing stocks have not paid off anytime. It's not about today, it's about in the last 8-10 years. You cannot chase stocks. If people were able to chase stocks, say HUL goes for to 2400 and then people will buy it, okay, it will go to 3000, it comes back to 2000. So that's what happens. So you cannot chase stocks and make money. If that was the case, then a lot of other peoples would have been very rich today in the markets. That all right, one stock, a company A goes up 30% in 3 days. Let's buy it. It will go up another 40% in the next 2 weeks. It doesn't happen like that. And we as retail investors are always caught on the wrong foot. We as retail investors are always caught at the end of a rally or at the end of a bear market selling a stock, end of a rally buying a stock. So always remember that, and that's why I would say avoid 3M India at these levels. That is my opinion. All right, avoid all banks. Avoid all banks. I'm not really sure about any bank at the moment. Even with HDFC Bank, with the change in management, let the numbers come in and all. Although you can accumulate bit by bit, but avoid all mid cap banks. So you're asking about DCP, it's an avoid. Kilpes is interesting. So I've talked about Kilpes a lot many times, and deliberately I did not talk about it. If you're holding on to it, let's see the results. I am also invested in Kilpes, so that's a disclaimer. Probably let the results come in for March and June, and then we'll take a call. So the June results would come in sometime in August, and I think the numbers should be very good. Okay. Okay, there are many, you can say, queries coming in, and I'm not able to look at many of them at the moment. Reliance is something that I have bought, so that's a disclaimer for a trade. And I think Reliance would also benefit from all these announcements that are taking place in some way or the other. And with the retail Reliance retail also coming into picture, it has also declined. So it has come from 20 DMA of around 1420, 1415, and then recovered from those levels. I bought for a trade, so nothing to do that I've put in an investment or something. So take that into consideration. But I feel the stock could go up to 1800, 1900 in the next 6 months or so. Bajaj Finance is interesting. It may not fall a lot. I think 1700, 1800 could be the bottom for the stock, but it may not give you that sort of a stupendous return as it used to give earlier, but it can give you around 20% from here in the next 1 year. Uh, but again, be very careful. The numbers, let the numbers come in. We don't know the numbers, and that's why the selling has taken place from 5000 to 2000. The numbers could be extremely bad for the June quarter. So wait for the numbers of June quarter of all NBFCs of all banks. Avoid Bajaj Consumer, avoid Geojit. Infosys is good, so it can keep on accumulating on declines. Yes. VGuard is an avoid, again an economy stock, VGuard. So if you are KEI industry, VGuard, all these wires, cables, Havels, Polycab, all these stocks will do well once economy comes back into picture, once their houses built, etc. Keep that in mind. I'm not saying that look at pure consumption FMCG stocks, they may still give you give you good returns over the next 1 year. Time will come for all these, you can say, infrastructure ancillary plays. But I don't think time is now. But things would change very quickly, so keep that into consideration. But in my opinion, the time is not ripe at the moment for these stocks to go up so quickly. Dabur, do not trade into Dabur. Dabur is a good investment bet. That's my bet. Graphite India is good, and currently what they are doing is they are diversifying their business and having more products into the mix. Has helped some of their products have sold for a better valuation in the December quarter and the March quarter, and that's why the stock has risen. But be very careful in these stocks. These are, you could say, uh, single product stock which sells single product, and if prices of those products go up and the raw material prices is stable or are stable, then the stock really do well, otherwise the stock fall a lot. FL is good at these levels, but I think the stock could go to 1200 to 1100 levels as well if the markets fall. Thanks a lot, Bara Subramaniam. Suven Life Sciences, I would say and avoid. Probably look at Ipca Labs, Divi's, Dr. Reddy's, and also diagnostic companies. Diagnostic would be good as well. Thank you for your contribution. Okay, Amber Enterprises has a problem. The thing is, Amber sell a lot of, you could say, AC products, and with at least I know in the north of India, the summer season has not taken up a great deal of continuity. In that regard, Amber has is looks like will not have very good June quarter, and then we have the lockdown, etc., and so on and so forth. And that's why the stock has not moved. Dixon is a completely different thing altogether. So do not compare Amber and Dixon that much. But Amber is in difficult spot because of that. But over a 2 3 year period, it should be doing well. Thanks a lot, Titi Chaco, for your contribution. I hope you're doing good. Uh, you have asked about Cosmo Films. Actually, I used to like this company in 2015-16, and I was actually trading into it. I have not looked at the company lately. Let me just open the charts up. As far as the business is concerned, see, I'm not very gung ho about the business, although they are into packaging and all those, you can say, materials. But there are other companies who do the same thing and who are listed and doing well. So, in my opinion, what you can do is if you are holding on to Cosmo Films, then what you can do is probably hold on to it. I don't know your, you can say, buy price. It has been running up because it would have sold more, you could say, raw material for the FMCG products. And that's why the stock has come back from the lows. But on an overall basis, I would say it is an avoid because uh, its business is not that you could say competitively stronger than other companies which are in the same domain. So avoid Cosmo films for that reason. Uh, what I would suggest is probably look at something in the pure consumption play uh, that would do well over a longer period of time. Also, one more thing is that there's very less FII or DII investment in the stock, so that would not help the company to grow very quickly. So avoid it for the time being. All right. Indigo is interesting. If Indigo comes down 10, 15, 20%, and if there is another big fall in the market, then you buy it. But again, you would have to wait for 3, 4 years to make a lot of money. See, all these stocks which are directly impacted with the lockdown and everything else, uh, they need to be bought in distressed condition, and you have to hold on to them for 3, 4 years when things are really good for the sector, then you get out. So for PVR, you buy now and probably hold it till things have almost normalized, and people are considering that this quarter results would be extremely good and the stock has already run up. Before the results are announced, you get out of the stock. That is the way to do it with the PVR, and that is the way to do it with other you can say economy related stocks which have been impacted because of the current curfew. A Loris Lab is good. So Loris Lab is a good mid-cap pharma company, but do your own analysis and then get into it. Do a good chart analysis and then get into the stock on a gradual basis. Very good results from Manappuram Finance. I was not expecting such tremendous results. You can get into the stock, but again, do an analysis by yourself and then do it. I am not very gung ho with stocks which are in the financial sector, and although some of them are really good, I still avoid them because understanding their business completely is extremely difficult compared to understanding businesses which are into the consumption domain. I would also like to, you could say, request you that kindly subscribe to my channel and build up this subscription base, like my channel and hit the bell icon so that you can get my videos and the updates of live feed straight away. I do normally two live feed every week and answer your queries and talk about stocks, etc. So kindly do subscribe to the channel as well. Also, you can ask me questions through Super Chat. There have been questions coming in from Super Chat. You can ask me that. That will help me grow the channel. It will help you eke out, you could say, descriptive answers from me. You could also subscribe to my Patreon channel, and with just between $2 to $10. And if you take the $10 call from next month onwards, I'm looking to put up my portfolio, watch list, and many other, you could say, freebies in that front with respect to a $10 fee per month. So that's just about 750 rupees per month that you would have to pay, and you'll get a lot of benefits out of it. So here is the link for the Patreon channel. Right, Nalco is interesting, and I think Nalco is a good stock for if you want to have good dividend and everything else. And once the steel sector does well, then you'll do it. But I am not very comfortable buying into stocks which are into commodities. But if you are, and if you're holding on to it, it's a good stock to make good dividend money out of it. Aarti industry is very good. It has run up a lot, but what you can do is on any 10, 12, 8, 10, 12% decline, any day when the stock falls 4, 5%, add a bit and keep on adding on declines for the next 5, 6 years. The company is very, you could say, resilient and has many products on which they have exclusive patents and exclusive productivity in which they sell those products. So, yes, it's a good company. Okay, are you asking about Escorts or Aisha Motors, Sansas? Naveen Fluorine is good on declines. On major declines, buy Naveen Fluorine. So in the chemical sector, Aarti Industries, Naveen Fluorines, Pidilite, you have Vinati Organics. These are very good companies to get into. Aisha Motors is interesting at 14,000. I would buy, but again, what I would say is that you need to have a good 4 or 5 year time frame. It could give you double the return in the next 3 to 4 years, but you need to be very patient because the economy has to do well for the stock to do well. Otherwise, people will not buy their bikes or their trucks, etc. The economy has to do well for Aisha to do well. Vedanta is interesting, very good company, and the metal sector, they have some corporate news going on, and that's why the stock has run up. Again, I would say I do not buy it for a long haul, but you can trade into it if you can understand the charts, etc. But these metal stocks or commodity stocks should not be bought for a very long period of time. Zydus Wellness is good. You can always add on to it for a longer period of time. Reliance Capital at a 8 9 rupee. I don't know what to say about it. What you can do is probably, if you're holding on to it, keep a stop loss at 6 6.5 and hold on to it. If you have not bought into it, do not get into such stocks. Avoid Action Construction, avoid HFCL, Quest Corp. I have already explained. Uh, Asian Paints, well, whatever target all the brokerage houses gave, I believe the best stock in the Indian market over a 20 25 year period is Asian Paints. If I were you and if I was buying Asian Paints, I would buy it at any levels closer to 1400, 1380. Hold it for the next 6 8 months and sell it at around 1800, 1900. I believe from October onwards, Asian Paints would do well. So, see, the stock is resilient. They have a lot of cash on their books, and I have heard about it. I need to confirm that they have increased salaries of some of the people. So Asian Paints, in my regard, is a very good stock to buy. I don't see 1100 on the stock. Yes, if the market goes to 7000, it may go to 1300, 1250 at worst. All right, people, thanks a lot for being part of this live session. I'll do another live session in 2 3 days' time. So, welcome you for that. Kindly keep on sending your queries. I'll definitely come up with a video of analyzing all your queries in a question and answer session in 2 3 days' time. Thank you for your time. Thank you.